Hey guys, I'm Kate. Welcome back to my channel, and today I want to talk about the rest of my writing goals for 2020, kind of wrapping up this crazy, trying to think of a different adjective, insane, awful, terrible. Basically, I'm trying to wrap up this year strong, at least where my writing is concerned. So I want to talk about my goals with the addendum about like realizations I've had throughout this crazy year about myself or my goals or like how productive I can actually be in 2020. Let's just get into it. Actually, first, now we can get into it. So first up, let's go ahead and talk about my Preptober / NaNoWriMo project for this year. This is going to be the only goal that I'm going to talk about continuing on into 2021 too much, because the rest of them I'm just trying to wrap up in 2020. Wrap up. So Project Death. I'm so excited. I think the only thing to add besides Preptober and then NaNoWriMo, I imagine my drafting will actually continue into December on Project Death, is that I want to query Project Death in 2021. I want that to be the next project that I attempt. You know, it's a YA standalone fantasy, and that was basically the rules that I've set for myself, what I've become comfortable with in terms of traditional publishing, just YA and standalone. So that is that, which means there's a whole lot of things that I will have to get ready to do. Technically, I think Project Death will be in its like third draft or second draft if I count the zero draft. You know, I queried Project Blue at the time, aka the first Meridian Maps, and then decided that wasn't the route I wanted to go with it. But that was in 2018, so it's been a while. It will have been 3 years. That's crazy, but I'm excited. So, okay, let's get back into 2020. I am publishing this year. I'm not going to talk about it too much. It's going to be under a pen name, so there's a reason for that. One, it's an entirely different genre than the Kate Cavanaugh sort of brand in quotes, but I want to publish separately from this channel to get an idea for metrics, to really learn how to do stuff, which brings into the other things in 2020 that I'm going to be doing for the first time, which is like cover design, whether I can actually attempt to do it myself or if I'm going to hire a cover designer, you know, figuring out how to do back copy, learning about Amazon ads potentially. There's so many things to learn. Sorry, the whirring is my computer in the background. What I'm saying is there's a lot of stuff that I'm going to be learning, and it's really hard sometimes to figure out how long it takes you to learn a thing. And so we're going to just hold on to that nugget. Just hold on to it for a second, because that'll come up in the realizations later. So the next sort of project is that Meridian Maps 5, I'm going to be attempting to finish the zero draft of that, which then means that in December, I'm hoping to start the entire rereading of books 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the whole series, which is really exciting. Also somewhat nerve-wracking is not even the word, because I am so excited, but I already know of changes that I want to make to the overall series, which just means that I already know what sort of task I'm undertaking. So the first book, the one that I queried, is the most done, but of course things that I've learned in writing the 5th book need to be put into the first book. I need to have some foreshadowing. I need to take out the elements that I don't want in the series anymore. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a challenge. Now, one of the other things that I mentioned, this isn't necessarily writing project so much as like writing activity. I talked about this in my Preptober video for my goals, but now that I've done it a couple of times, my hope is to stream daily for an hour, hour and a half each day. I think it'll be really fun for accountability, and I like exploring new platforms. I think also it'll fill the hole in my heart from not doing NaNoWriMo daily vlogs. I also have the goal, the continued goal, that apparently never gets done, of publishing to Medium weekly. My goal is always on Fridays. I start on Monday, and then I've said before, but that's like the lowest priority item for me, and it just always falls off. And yet, I still really want to do it. So I have until the end of 2020 to either do it, start doing it, or come to terms with myself that this is not something that's going to happen. and then I just need to write it off for 2021. Just stop even putting effort into it because clearly I can't get it done. You know, maybe 2022 or something like that. But at a certain point, you gotta call it, and learning what that is goes into the realizations. Okay, I'm going off of notes. The other sort of activity-based thing that I'm trying for the first time that I've never done is the short story live streams, also about an hour to an hour and a half, where I show y'all me writing this one particular short story that's like the Twilight Zone meets Monkey's Paw, which arguably is kind of Twilight Zone-y in the first place, but you get the gist. I think this is gonna help a lot for others to see the whole process, especially what zero drafting looks like to me, but also I just think it would be fun, and it's also a no risk way to get comfortable with people reading my work and in all stages. I don't know that I necessarily ever want people to read my other zero draft work, but I think this is something that I need to do to free myself in some ways. And it's also just fun. It's been fun. So, will my computer ever stop whirring? We may never know. So I'm going to talk about realizations real quick because I've mentioned one of these before, but it's a continually evolving realization for me, which is that I basically can only focus on so many projects. As someone who likes to jump around, I can only focus on so many projects each day. And with the increase in work and freelance, and then the attempt to do the personal essays for Medium, that now leaves me with 2 fiction projects I can work on. So nonfiction stuff and then 2 fiction ones, which has been the stories that I'm gonna get published this year under the pen name, and then the Meridian Maps ones. That's also why with NaNoWriMo, I'm purposely trying to get Meridian Maps 5 zero draft done in October so that I can completely start putting that energy into Project Death in November. Also, just because I'm gonna need a break from Meridian Maps. It has been a long time sitting with these characters, so it's needed, but also not only is the break needed, I think I would have to have it. So it's double needed. It's needed in all of the ways. I also want to show you, I have made calendars, more goals if I can even do this, what the plan of action is on each of these goals, including the different waves. I've written where I'm at in my year 0 goals, and then the next page is realistic 2020 to 2021 plans with some additional fun work goals that I have that aren't necessarily writing related, featuring the biggest question of all. Can I get this in frame? That's not the question. It's, can I do this? So to say that it's been on my mind is a bit of an understatement. I almost smacked myself in the face. Now, part of the reason I have to write stuff out is just to figure it out a lot of times, but also because we've been moving and, you know, you can see, you can't see, ooh, I framed it, so there's also boxes still around me. So it doesn't quite feel settled into routine yet, and that means that I don't have my baseline anymore, and that can make it hard sometimes to figure out when I want to put something new in, if I can handle it or not. So it's like I need to figure out what my baseline is, but I don't know what my baseline is right now. Yeah, but that's also why I don't want to share these other goals yet. That's what I'm calling them, other goals, these other work goals, because I've learned in the past that as excited as I am about certain things, sometimes something happens and that just completely goes away forever. Like, I think, was it my 2019 goals or was it 2020? What has this year been? But I wanted to interview an expert each month, so I had my dad on as a psychologist, and that was a really great talk. Loved having my dad on. But then the amount of work it took to edit that video, combined with now having to reach out to different people, was just ended up being like, again, lowest priority item, so it didn't happen. What I wish I would have done is not shared that, or waited until I had like 3 expert videos completed, figured out that I could do it, and then announced it. So this is how I'm gonna be kind of moving forward too. I'm doing all this extra work now to see if I can make these other goals happen, but I don't want to talk about it until I know it can happen. Yes. In some ways it's like the advice where people say don't tell someone about like your fitness goals because then you won't get them accomplished. And I don't know necessarily, I think it's that combined with sometimes not knowing how much something is gonna take. So hopefully something really cool will be happening in the future in 2021. Yeah, I did not drink nearly enough of this. So anyways, I have less than 3 months to try and get a lot of this done. And that is both exciting and nerve-wracking. And I will document as much as I can outside of the secret projects. Please do comment down below. Let me know what some of your secret projects are. No, that's why they're secret. That's a bad question. Please comment down below. Let me know what your writing goals for the rest of 2020 are. Let me know if you have any other goals outside of that you're still trying to meet. Like, I'm still trying to get my pull up or my chin up or whichever. I just want to lift this body off of the ground. I'm also hoping to be able to run a 10K without stopping and potentially even get a 5K under 30 minutes. So, you know, those are some other goals that I'd set for 2020 and still think that they could happen, but are definitely going to require some work. Please do also comment down below. Let me know if you've had any recent revelations about yourself or about yourself combined with your work. Let me know if you're like me, where you can have the best of intentions and goals, and sometimes for whatever reason that can still not work out, and then do you feel bad about it? Do you also need to do something 3 or 4 times in secret before you announce the thing? I guess is what I'm asking. But that is going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all very soon with a new video. Bye! I didn't even finish. Freaking crushed it. Best what? And still feel like I can do it. I don't know.